Hans-Jørgen Andersen from Architecture, Design and Media Technology couldn't be here because there was very foggy in Aalborg in the morning. And he had one of the early planes and he was sitting on a tarmac the whole morning and he ended up coming. But then Mikael, he stepped in, just landed running, I think, making some presentations here, so that's going to be interesting. And then we also have Vetner also coming to talk about the opening here. So Inga, would you start?
No, I think this is fine. Thank you so much, dear guests. Interesting lecture. I enjoyed that very much. Though I'm not a gamer myself, but I have a couple of kids who are. It's my great pleasure to welcome you to Aalborg University and to the opening of our new centre, the Centre for Applied Game Research, or CEAGAR for short. More than 2 billion people worldwide play some sort of digital game on a regular basis. I'm not one of them. But games are part of your everyday life. And games are much more than that. They also serve as important learning tools in educational museums and healthcare settings. So the relevance and timing of Centre for Applied Game Research is therefore undisputable. I have noted with great pleasure also that CEAGAR is an interdisciplinary research centre that combines competences within the field of humanities and technology. And its members come from different departments across the faculties at Aalborg University, but also with association from people outside the university. The mission of the centre is to broaden our perspective on digital games and to demonstrate how the growing gaming industry, how schools and how healthcare institutions may benefit from a more strategic and research-based approach to digital games. But the focus of the centre also matches the common strategy of Aalborg University, which seeks to increase research across disciplines. Aalborg University is renowned for its focus on problem-based learning and problem-driven solutions. And I know that many of your students in the centre explore the ways in which we may develop games that match and support the needs of real-life people and real-life organisations. And I also know that the students are not alone in their quest for gaining new ground. More than 30 game researchers are affiliated with this new centre across Aalborg University. And combined with CEAGAR's vision of conducting applied game research in new and unexpected settings, this setup provides ample opportunity for our university to become one of the world's leading hubs of applied game research. I'd like to thank, of course, the members of staff for taking this initiative. It takes time, effort, and a great deal of determination and drive to establish a centre like this, but I'm confident that your efforts are not in vain. And so with these words, I'd like to thank you all for coming to mark the opening with us of our new centre. And to the members and the students of our centre, I'd like to say, let the game begin. Thank you.
Thank you. You heard about Murphy's Law, right? Everything that can go wrong will go wrong, especially in situations like this. Thank you, Inga. That was really nice opening speech. I think we could call Mikael as the next one to talk about this.
Sure. Thank you and welcome. As Henrik said, I'm stepping in at a rather late stage for Hans-Jørgen, who couldn't make it. Hans-Jørgen is the leader of our department, the Department of Architecture, Design and Media Technology. And here in Copenhagen we have media technology, and it will be up on the 4th floor where the games lab will be. And just yesterday a contract came onto my desk for about, I don't know, 1 million kroners worth of equipment that, oh, okay. So anyway, things are moving.
Hush, hush.
Yeah. But it does, it is the fruit of a long labor, not least from Henrik and Lars, but many other people as well. And it's great to see that it can actually happen. What particularly attracts me about this concept is the cross-disciplinarity, the nature of the work between games technology, media technology, and the humanistic disciplines as well. So I think that this cross play between the disciplines is in itself going to give a lot of new areas of research, which will build on to what you already have. And for those of you who would be interested in to see what research is already going on, there are about 35 Aalborg, 35 plus Aalborg researchers already related to the center, and their publications and activities, etc., already have been there for some time in a research forskningsenhed, a research unit under VBN, the knowledge base, and there one can see the kind of work that is going on there. In terms of working outside the walls of the university, already there is a large amount of work going on with schools and using games as learning at schools. A number of schools, I don't remember the number, but there must be at least 15 schools involved already, where, for example, the children it's not just playing games, of course, this is the purpose of games, but where, for example, mathematics and programming become more attractive than would normally be the case, both for girls and boys, I hope. Yeah. So, apart from that, we've also seen here in Copenhagen the Nordic Game Jam going on once a year. If I'm not mistaken, it's the biggest game jam, certainly in Europe, if not the world, attracting large numbers of sponsors. So all the big guys are here, the Microsofts and the Samsungs and the, yeah, you name it. They're all around here dishing out free Kindles and free applet. Yeah.
Yeah.
So that's also a part of the initiative of the people behind this, and great to see that which is something that Aalborg University really does want to do, and that's the connections to the real world, connections to industry, and connections to places of learning outside of the university as well. And then as far, just to wrap up, as far as teaching goes, we can see that at the graduate level, the master or the candidate level, we are attracting, in the mediology, the media technology education, we are attracting increasing number of students, and that most of those students are looking to do games. That seems to be the area that, and when I say games, here in media technology, because we are under the technical and natural sciences, the emphasis is on the engineering and scientific aspects. I must stress that here. But the programming is where the work is right now. They've got, there are a lot of designers already, but there's not so many programs. So that's what where we will put emphasis at Aalborg University. Yeah, and these students are getting work, and they are getting internships. So the teaching aspects are also making good progress. So I really do see that this center, both on research, in relations to the industry, and as well as teaching, is already making its mark. And I certainly hope that it will be a great success in the future. So best of luck and all best wishes. Yeah.
Thank you.
Thank you, Michael. And then we have Mikael, also giving some words for us. Thank you, Michael.
And Michael? Yeah. That's the only thing
Murphy is doing to the sensor, then he's welcome. Yeah, thanks a lot. Wow, impressive turnout, it appears. Dear Vice Rector, dear colleagues, guests, representatives from the industry, media, partners and students. As Henrik said, my name is Mikael and I'm the head of the Department of Communication and Psychology. In this case, I'm also representing the Department of Learning and Philosophy. And it's a great privilege to me to participate in the opening of this Center for Applied Game Research at Aalborg University. I think it's fair to say that it's a pretty big deal, and it is a pretty big deal on a number of levels. After all, Inger, games are all around us and in many things we do on a daily basis. We play extremely technically advanced games on our computers and on our phones. We participate in intricate and sometimes even secret communities whose sole purpose is gaming. We teach our children, our infant children, some of the fundamentals of life by applying simple game mechanics, so to say. When we raise them, we pass time by inventing rudimentary games, and we participate in other people's games without even knowing it. So, games appeal to us. They stimulate us, they allow us to break natural rules, they allow us to immerse ourselves in, or even create worlds, and they make us create new social relations, whether it's secret clubs, organizations, vast online communities, and as such, as Sasha Barab said earlier, games are extremely powerful. They immerse, they intrigue us, and they entice us. They allow us to do something that we were not allowed to do, were able to, or hadn't thought of doing. So therefore it goes without saying that games are, to a very large degree, both great tools of procrastination and entertainment, as well as potential means of learning and changing the world around us. Because when games are utilized with a specific purpose, such as learning, or promoting better health, or reducing waste, the result can be quite impressive. Within the last 10 years or so, more than 250 research papers, proceedings and books has been written at Aalborg University within the field of broadly could be categorized as game research. And in the years to come, I'm very sure that this new center will have an even larger impact on the research being done. After all, the work up until now has been done on a largely isolated or ad hoc basis, especially at least an uncoordinated basis. And game research hasn't necessarily had the perfect fit into any of the 22 departments at the university. The thing is that just as making games, and especially in the case of computer games, research on games very often calls on cross-disciplinary approach, and this is obviously the reason why there has been such a need for a Center for Games Research at Aalborg University. As some of you know, and as Michael said earlier, this center has been on the way for a couple of years, and I think I'd like to give a shout out to one of the persons who initiated it at first, Finn Werner Jensen, professor in the back, who has been promoting game research for a number of years. And the governing idea has obviously been, even though he is a professor in computer science or mathematics, that such a center has to be cross-disciplinary. On the ways, I've even heard people saying that every academic discipline could potentially do research on games. I'm not too sure about that, but if it is the case, this center definitely has a way to go before becoming complete. So, work up ahead. But obviously, the center isn't only about research and doing research within the confined walls of the university. It's also very much a hub for networking, attracting and creating new alliances, new possibilities and collaborations with other researchers, industrial partners, hopefully also a hub for entrepreneurship and innovation. And bringing all of these bits and pieces together mesh very well with the Department of Communication and Psychology, which in itself is a very diverse department with research being done within musicology and computer game sound, aesthetics, creativity, distributed learning, gamification, pedagogic psychology, experience design, game analytics, organizational communication, and so on. And all of these disciplines could potentially, on a very large degree, to a very large degree, benefit from this center. And at the same time, we have educational programs where we are part of the, I can safely say, fantastic Danish Academy for Digital Entertainment, where students from all over the country, from all the universities, design schools, National Film School, and so on, come to every year, every fall, to create computer games. So to me, it's quite evident that the center will benefit a lot on a number of levels. So that's one of the reasons, or that's some of the reasons why this center is a big deal. And that's also why I would like to take the opportunity to thank you, some of the people behind the center, for organizing this day, for inviting Sasha here to give the lecture. Very impressive, very interesting. And just as Inger said, just as games research is a very complex discipline, bringing researchers together from a number of disciplines with a multitude of agendas and aims and aspirations is equally demanding. So thank you all very much for the hard work. We especially look forward to the hard work you have in front of you and to the results coming from that. We do believe that you will be successful in your endeavor, and well, you definitely have the organizational structure for it. So thank you very much. We are just as happy as, I guess, all the people here. Thank you.
Thank you, Michael. Nice to hear these really warming words, and we're really happy that you could come here today and help us opening the center. Now it's our turn, guys. So could you please come up here? As we start, we will just wait for Anders to get here. Anders Drachen, who is the latest member of the club here, and Thorkild Hanghøj, and Lars Reng, and myself, Henrik. We're gonna talk a little bit more about this later. But first, I would like to ask everybody here in the audience, what's in a game? Let's hear some shouts. What elements of a game you think of when we talk about a game? What do we need to make a game?
Creativity. Level.
Yeah?
Cardboard.
Yeah, come on. Go on.
Multiple choices.
Yes? Anything else?
Time.
Yeah?
Interaction.
Yes?
Money.
Yes?
Reasonable. Yeah.
If we take this game up here, what is the most important things for that?
Luck.
Luck? Yes.
Dice.
Dice?
Personalization.
Purpose? Yes, that's a good one.
Social interaction.
Yes, also
Emotion.
that.
Reward.
Yeah. Okay. Don't we need any players? Maybe. Do we need any goals? I didn't hear that. Do we need any rules? Some challenges? Some missions to accomplish? Do we need a story? Some people already said that. Maybe not in this. People say that there can be a story in this. I know there was a guy earlier here today, I don't know if Jesper is still here. Jesper Juhl, are you still here? No. He started a really interesting discussion about games and stories and so on some years ago. He was here, he's now today at the Danish Design School. Just came back from the New York Game Center, coming back to Denmark, so we're gonna collaborate with him also. Okay, but let's get started with all these elements of the game. The players, as we just said, myself, Lars, Thorkild, and Anders. And you can see where we are from, all these things. ADMT is Architecture, Design, and Media Technology, and so on. I don't know who's who here, you can decide.
I'm Pac-Man.
You're Pac-Man, yeah, okay.
Super Mario.
Yeah, all right.
You all along.
Okay, I'm Sonic, Lars, you take. Yeah. So, in the first place, why do we want to play? Why do we want to start this center? Well, there's a lot of opportunities to answer that question, or possibilities to talk about it, but we heard about, just Inger said, that around the world every week, around 2 billion people are playing games, some hours. That means that actually 3 billion hours are spent playing games. We heard Mikael and Mikael talk about how engaging games also can be. So when we look at this engaging media, we could fairly easily say that it's one of the most engaging media we have today. A lot of people using time for it, they're engaged in it. So actually we want to make a big step now. We want actually to exploit this engaging power of games for the benefit of mankind. Now we need some music, but it's not here. Yeah. So we want to set up a big goal here. We want to, that's kind of our vision. That's what drives the research here on an overall. That's kind of our compass, you could say. That's the direction we want to do. And that's why it's so interesting to work with you guys, because you want to create games for impact. And Alan, where are you sitting? Back there. Games for change and all these different things. We have talked about a lot of different terms. So actually what we want to do is to use this engaging power actually to develop, to evaluate games for the benefit of mankind by solving problems and other things. We're coming back to details about that. So in a game, you know, we have a mission or we have goals. And what are they? There's a highway to the mountain there, as Mikael said. We have a long road ahead of us, a long journey to start on. This is just the first step, and we have a long way down in the clouds before. Today we came above the clouds. We still have a lot of way to go. So actually we could say that it is to support the collaboration between Aalborg University game researchers and Danish international researchers, because we want to build this hub both for Denmark and also for the international community of game research. Industry, as we talked about, institutions, educations and players out there, to build a true interdisciplinary center which harnesses the possibilities of making games matter. I remember when we had the early days when Finn was starting also parts of this in Aalborg, we talked a lot about that. Yeah, but it's so hard because you need to cooperate with people from all different kinds of departments at the university. It's really hard because we're going to talk with them. But finally, I think we actually found something we could talk about across everything, you know. We didn't believe as engineers here, like, how can we talk with these learning guys over there and this guy who knows about analytics and statistics and so on. But we're actually doing projects together now because we have the common goal of doing these games. So it's quite interesting. And this is kind of our tagline, this making games matter. To look at these games and also the games that actually matter, the games that have a purpose. So, how are we going to do that? What are our goals? Well, we want to create synergy through this interdisciplinarity. And I don't know if you know what this is, anyone? We have some Minecraft experts over there. Do you know what this is from? No? What?
Game of Thrones.
Game of Thrones, yes. Do you know which place it is?
Dragonstone.
No.
Vetner?
Yeah. Something called Iron Castle, right? Iron Island, yeah. And it's actually 4,000, sorry. What do you say, Reng?
No, it must be Dragonstone. It's a stone dragon.
Yeah. So it's from Game of Thrones. 4,000 people are collaborating to build the whole universe of Game of Thrones. And you need a lot of skills to do that and a lot of knowledge and so on. So this is just one example. We are not building games, but maybe we would like to investigate the building of the game and to use that to teach people something about organizing big things. Have any of you tried this?
Yeah.
For those of you who don't know what this clutter interface is, it's a boss fight in the World of Warcraft with a lot of people involved, a lot of things going on. So actually it's a very complex problem to solve this, to get this boss there. So what we want to do with all the different abilities we have, we want to go together and solve complex problems through this collaboration. And we actually see that's already happening now when we combine the different efforts that we have and so on. Then we also want to research, design, develop, evaluate and use games that matter. Alan, I don't know, were you involved in the Fu is Dying?
Not making it a game.
No, but you had the game for change that they promoted it. It's actually a game where you have this little girl and you have to get some food from one place to another, and you go through this desert and sometimes there's some soldiers coming by and you have to press space to hide. And it's really a very emotional game to go through this one. And actually you could use this in schools and so on to discuss this idea of how it is to live in Africa under these circumstances and so on. This one, the other one is called Folded, and it's a game about simulating proteins and so on, where gamers around the world have helped scientists actually to solve problems about how proteins are folded and so on. So what are the rules of the game? Well, we would invite all game-related projects that matter. They are encouraged to join, both national and international. So we actually want to build up this collaboration with both projects in Denmark and also abroad. We want to work with what we call purposed games. Games with meaning, games with a purpose. Whether the purpose is fun, we can maximize fun with some of the knowledge that Anders has about big data analysis. We can actually make people addicted. But we can also make them addicted to other things. We'll come back to that later. We also want to use it for learning, for training, for impact, and for commentary, for mediation of knowledge, and a lot of different things. But what we want to do is we don't just want to look at the games. We want to use the research to apply for other things. So we actually want all this knowledge we can gather by working with the games to use it for something, to create some impact inspired by you guys in Arizona, and also to make this impact on mankind as we talked about. So what's the story about this? Mikael, you talked a little bit about it. It's a two-legged story actually, because it's quite fun. Lars and I were sitting out at Aalborg University in Ballerup back in 2009, or even earlier when we met. We said this thing about learning and games and programming and all this, that we could use that for something. So we tried to gather people at our department, our little section out there, while starting up a whole new education and laying the grounds of what's actually here today in mediology, that education there. And then we got some people involved, and then Mikael became our department leader at that time for the Department of Architecture, Design, Media Technology. And you were actually one of the first ones who supported us. We already had some people there, and then he said, that's a good idea, you should work with it. And then some years later, because we had too much teaching and supervision, suddenly we got a call from Cassiopeia. Cassiopeia is the place where the computer science department is in Aalborg. It's up there. And that's where Finn was sitting. And he was also trying to gather people in Aalborg about that, while Lars and I were doing it here. And then we met, and we had a really nice talk up there, and we wanted to go ahead and so on. And Finn tried hard to do it for, I think, half a year or something like that, just before you became a Professor Emeritus, right? Yeah.
It lasted a year and a half.
A year and a half, yeah, it took a very long time. So a lot of the credits of why we can sit here today goes actually to Finn, so let's give him another hand, actually. So at the same time as this was going on and we went to Aalborg, then also we met Thorkild and Anders, because suddenly we had to move to these nice premises over here that we have out here. So we actually thought that now we're starting to get some critical mass. And then also Esbjerg, where we also were doing a lot of teaching at Mediology. There was also people sitting over there. Tony and Eva are sitting there working with games, doing a lot of things. So suddenly we found out, well, we can bridge these things. And then that call came then one day from Finn and said, Lars and Henrik, I have to become Professor Emeritus, so could you please take over this thing, the torch, and walk on with that? And we said, yes, of course we will, but we could not take it one of us because we had too much work to do, so we had to share it. And then we tried to work, and we still had too much teaching and supervision to do, and almost a year went by or something like that. And then suddenly we were going to Arizona with Thorkild and to visit Sasha and Alan and Anna over there. And then Thorkild said, you need some help. So can I be involved? And we said, yes, please come. And since then, actually, things have been rolling quite nicely. And then just 2 months ago, we thought we need something also a little bit more knowledge about also the American market and so on, because Anders has been there at Northeastern, I believe, and other places, and to just put a little bit American spice into this.
Also, I'm way more handsome.
Exactly, yeah. He's the handsome guy of this bunch. We use him for the press, actually, so he's our press contact.
Only for pictures.
Yeah, exactly. So now we're on board, and we want to involve everybody, and we try to have meetings every month, last Thursday every month, but we have also had a lot of meetings the last month here. But in the end, we just ended up just running this to make a fertile environment for everybody else to join, actually. Okay, that was a long story. It's usually like that with stories, they get long, right? So who are we? Inger, you said that we are 30 plus researchers because you got the old press announcement. I believe Mikael, you got one that was a little bit, that was 35. And now actually, when I looked this morning, now we have 40 members of this. So we just passed that, and as you can see, there's a lot of diversity between the members. Big, small, black and white, you know, very colorful and so on. All with different abilities that can help the center. So, what's in the game? I don't know if some of you want to take this because I'm talking. Or should I just, okay. So, when we started this, Lars and I were talking about this idea of having a beehive, you know, a hive that is, everybody's collecting something to create honey. And the honey is what you see up there on the wall. All the publications that we do. And this is also why our logo has this hexagon part of the logo actually, because we want to think of it as a hive. I know it's a bad logo when you have to explain what it means. So, but now I did it anyway, just for you to know. We want to apply for funding with our collaborators, national and international, to support applied research. And as Mikael just said, we have over 250 publications now when we work together. So that means that we can actually use that to leverage and get more funding and help each other when we need things. We also want to create job opportunities for students because this is really important for us that we feel that what we educate our students with, they can actually use that in the real world. So, getting out there. And we have some examples of that. We even have people sitting here today who got jobs based on this. I got a bottle of wine, so thanks for that. You know who you are. It was not any bribing or anything. We also support networking, actually. And we strengthen collaboration with the industry, institution, the education, policymakers, and players. And Lars will come back to that a bit later. We also arrange conferences. We have an event yesterday about a seminar about game-based learning. We publish joint research and write books with our partners, as you can see out there. There's just some of it. Some of us has been so busy, so we didn't even have time to print these abstracts out there. So at least 200 peer-reviewed game-related publications out there, and actually I think it's more because I sent it to BBN just Monday, and I think they started to chip in the new members that we got, so it's above 250 now, I think. So we invite for talks, like we just had today, with international renowned researchers, and also Alan yesterday, who gave a nice talk at the seminar. And we invite promising young and established researchers to spend time with us collaborating on research and development as well. So we actually also have postdocs coming to us, sitting with us and so on. We have interns going on. And then we do a lot of research collaborations. I don't know, Thorkild, will you? Just for people to have another voice in their ears.
I can take over.
Okay, yeah, we like to collaborate with a lot of people out in the world, and this is just to mention a few of them. We have a lot of Danish game researchers just within the last week or so that contact us, say, can we be friends with you guys? And of course you can. Come to us and we'll all be friends. So we're actually trying to make this into a national hub for game-related research in Denmark, applied game-related research. And internationally we also collaborate with both the Nordic countries. There's a Nordic network on game-oriented research called Nordgold. And of course the Arizonan guys sitting here, very important to us. But also people, a lot of other places in the US and Europe we are collaborating with. So these are just some of the connections, the networks that we have going on. Yep. So, I have to give it next to Lars.
Okay, so now that Henrik has given us a little introduction, very short, Henrik, super cool. Yeah. As he said he would. The three of us are going to try to tell something about what is CEAGAR also. So we're going to represent different angles of what is under CEAGAR. So you can see actually how big it is, how many things we're doing. Because we've been doing a lot of activity, even before today. We have been super, super busy, and everything seems to have exploded during the last year. So one of the aspects of this is, Mikael said we are contacted to 15 schools. It's way more than this. We have been super busy during the summer, getting in contact with all kinds of schools, actually going out, trying to run some courses at the schools, trying to show them the power of making games, game development, and the feedback we get is amazing. They're blown away. They want to learn more, they want to do more with games, right? This is based on some of the research we've done here ourselves. So the motivational power of developing games can be used for It's a powerful tool. It can be used for even motivating students to learn programming. For real. Okay. So we have a few extra super interesting stories. And the first is, ever since we moved to this location, stuff started to happen. And it started to happen about 3 years ago, when we get contacted by Ida, saying, the IT University cannot support us anymore. We would like to come to you and run the Nordic Game Jam, which is, Mikael, the first and largest game jam in the world under a single roof. And for the last 3 years, we have been beating our own world record. So, that we last year was 750 plus game developers in these buildings making games over a weekend. To have 1 weekend to create a unique game. And many of you guys can still raise your hands. How many were here? How many are coming back? Yes, Inger. Oh, it keeps doing this. What it has done for us is that it has really made a mark. So we are now really known. This is the place to come when you do game stuff, right? All the professionals, the indies, and we have been very, very focused on bringing also our students into this mix. So there's a very good collaboration going on, and it's given us a ton of industry contacts. So CEAGAR is not only research, we have strong connections, and they're growing with local industry. And when I say local, I mean the entire world. And then I have another little fun story, and I have pictures of some of you where you are half naked, so I hope that's okay. State-of-the-art technology. So based on some of the connections we got through running the Nordic Game Jam, I got a fun little phone call from a girl who's not here today, I think, but her brother is here to represent her. Good. I got a little phone call. I have some of the best tech people in the world in Copenhagen. Do you have a small room we can sit in and chill? And sorry, Mikael, I didn't ask. I just said, sure. And then I got a phone call a week later. We are going to be more people. Do you still have a room for us to sit in and chill? Yeah, you just come. And every week I got a new phone call. We're going to be more people. And then after 3 or 4 weeks, the phone call was, they would like to present some of the stuff they have done. Can you get some projectors and can they set up some demos and stuff? And then I said, sure, on one condition, that all my students are allowed to set up their projects in between all these professionals. And they're allowed to come and join and hear these talks. Sure, why not? So in just a few weeks, we set up Schønau Games. We have some of the best tech people coming in to give technology talks about the future technology. The people from Sony was flying in with their Morpheus. We had all kind of stuff. Oculus was here presenting. And we were running this expo. And then on top of that, I got a phone call. Is it okay that we run a game jam while doing all of this? And I thought, sure, we're 2 people to arrange this thing. No problem, right? So, sure, why not run your game jam? And it was a massive success, and there's a lot of students who got some good contacts with industry doing this. So we repeated that for the Nordic Game Jam, running an expo while we were doing this. And what we have gotten out of this is, we have gotten a lot of contacts with different companies, and they're not even all here. And they like what we are doing here so much that sometimes they forget some of the equipment when they go home. They are not allowed to give us equipment it's against the rule of the company. But sometimes they forget some of it when they go home. And sometimes they don't forget it, but accidentally send us stuff when they get home. And that is super nice. So we're getting a lot of really state-of-the-art equipment. It's coming in, we got new stuff coming in all the time, and you're not allowed to talk about it yet. But that also means that we have the opportunity to use this equipment for research, and for the students to become even better students. And all the equipment we're coming in, we are trying to share it with everyone. So we made a little indie deal that any developer in the Copenhagen area, even students from other universities, our own students, we try to get them access to this equipment. So everything is growing here in Copenhagen. Right? We're trying to share and create good connections with everyone. So if you're thinking, oh, I would like to be part of this, I would like to try out this latest equipment, I would like to be connected to you guys, just find us after this. Boom.
Boom.
You go.
Okay, thank you. So, of course, all of this, a lot of this is tied up to research projects. And without projects, no publications. And since there are so many projects in CEAGAR, and there's no way we can actually represent them all today or present them all, we have invited some of the participants in these projects to come today, and they're actually standing at the back of the room. So if you turn your head, you can see people standing with screens and the posters that are all taking part in various research projects working together with CEAGAR. The first project I'd like to mention is called the School of Play project. So just raise your hands, Thor and Stine, who have developed this method for using commercial games in schools to address social learning issues and also map onto the curriculum. And they are happy to talk to you afterwards if you wanted to see how you can use Torchlight 2 to learn math and Danish in middle school. So that's one project supported by Egmont Foundation. I'm leading that project and working with a number of people in this room is related to that project. Another project we are also very excited about is the Build a World project. It's where you guys, just raise your hands, people can see you, sitting over there. It's a really fantastic small company, I dare say, that have developed this wonderful tool for visualizing data, 3D interactive world where you can go around and experience, in this case, the city of Elsinore, which in this case have been flooded by 1.5 meters of water. So this kind of simulation environment can be used to show the perils of unsustainable development in the world, global warming, etc. And we are trying to build teaching scenarios around that, funded by the Danish Ministry of Education. And there's also a number of people in this room. Stine Eising, where is she? Is she here? No. She is related to that project as well. Okay, so go talk to Build a World if you want to hear how the next Minecraft is going to look like. I had to say that, sorry. And going back to Minecraft, we're also doing projects related to that, supported by the Danish Ministry of Education, not Egmont Foundation, that's a mistake. And also working together with the municipality of Copenhagen. There are actually 2 different projects going on, and we are applying for a third one soon that relates to using Minecraft in schools. And it can both be used as a part of a city development program involving young people in rethinking their area and using Minecraft as a tool for presenting ideas that actually get accepted by the mayor of Copenhagen, standing here within this area. But it can also be used to tell stories and engage and explore things together in this online world and learn writing in relation to Minecraft, which is something I'm interested in. Okay, so that's just some examples of people in this room working with some of the projects, and they would love to talk to you. The people that work with Minecraft, sorry, I almost forgot, that's the people that we have worked a lot with is Spilværksted, the Games Workshop. Could you just stand up, Andre, so people can see you? Andres sitting over there, who has a team of young people at the, I don't know really how you say this, it's a produktionsskole. I can't really translate it into English, but he has a lot of really clever Minecraft helpers that build a lot of different worlds, and they bring this out to different schools and try to experiment with it together with teachers. Go talk to them, fascinating worlds. And they just built the Iris space mission in Minecraft. All right, so I'll give you some more examples of projects in this room.
Yeah, as I said before, we have an intern, Erik. There you're sitting, Erik, down there. And we have several projects going on, actually, that is pilot research projects, you could say. And among those is what we call making math addictive. And that's what I said before, you know, if you can imagine using this powerful medium to get kids addicted to learn math, that could be really funny. So, is this funny? 1 + 1. Do you want to see the next slide? Okay, it's not funny, I think. So, sorry, Sophia, was it you who's... No, you said I should correct this, right? It's my bonus daughter. She said that it's wrong, but it's actually, yeah. I just want to say that this idea of finding out, we're actually using this idea in the new project where we had the kids to find the wrong answers in order to tease the ones that are trying this game that we make the design for to guess wrong. In that way they actually learn maths in finding the wrong answers also. So this is kind of a new take on this that's quite interesting. We're going to use that on 11, 12-year-old kids actually on next Monday where you're going to program a game until next Monday.
Don't worry.
Yeah. Then we have another project which also have, I think there's some of the papers out there. A project that the students here did at Aalborg University. I believe Kasper and Mikael and Sebastian are here. Any others? Henrik and Bjørn? No? Yeah. So they actually made a wonderful looking game which is about interactive storytelling with a lot of the supervisors here at the university and so on. And they really pulled it off. I think you started already in the 6th semester and pulled it off all the way to the master. Now you have your own company actually called Mystic Box Studios, which are investigating this area of making environmental storytelling, engaging storytelling that is interactive, where you could go into these worlds and explore them with all the nice details that are there. So they're also here, so you're welcome to try that game on that nice Samsung screen over there. Oh, did I mention Samsung? Sorry. Aravola, Kasper, yeah, Bjarke, sorry. Yeah, you also where you're sitting with your game? Yeah, and that's another version of interactive storytelling, actually, where you can go into a complete different world than Aporia, so please try that out also. Then we have the group over here actually filming today, making the things that you're going to see online on our media part of the CEAGAR's homepage. They did actually a 360-degree virtual reality concert experience, and you can just try it around the corner there, right? So you'll actually be inside a concert, look around all areas and see everything there, 360. Then we have Askehave with EduMode over there, which is also a game actually trying to make kids addicted to learning different subjects. And you have been developed this. I remember the first talk we had was on your first semester or something like that. And it's a brilliant idea to use games and engage the kids in leveling up in the games by solving different solutions. So please try that also. So this is actually almost the end, and before that we have mentioned a lot of people today, and Lise Kofod, are you here? There, yeah. Also you has helped us tremendously. Lise was writing some of the first papers we can see up there back in the 90s, I believe, about games and game research. And Lise was the former section head at Mediology, and it's been really wonderful to work with you. That's why we invited you to sit at our office now, and that's going to be really nice. All the ones that we didn't mention deserved a lot of thanks as well. You also have all your peers around and so on, but we cannot mention everybody. But we're really happy that everybody works this direction. So this is a place to stay in contact with us. There's plenty of things. There's Game Rats. It says RAT is like for radical, but it's also a research and development society where we now, I think we have almost 500 members. And this is where we spread the news about the game jams and all these different things. Then we have the more official side in the top for all our publications. You can go look at it, all the researchers on the different campuses. And then we have also a Facebook group. We need to have that. Yes. You can also give us a call or send us an email, right? So I guess that's more or less it for today.